handle the fact that is given to you in exam, yeah? All right. Number one, you must make sure you identify the element. You say the element is this, all right, in section 4 or 5. And therefore, in the fact, the wording of being executor to the will of a deceased person, that shows element number one is being is in existence. So being an executor, he is the entrusted person. Right. So when you talk about element number two, the section 405 says dishonesty that comes in any form. So therefore, when in this facts given, the dishonesty comes in the form that he disobeyed the law. Satu, all right. He divided it according to the will. That's very good. Tapi he also give himself, which is not the entitlement in the will. So therefore, dishonesty that he gain money, all right, according to section 21, that makes the dishonesty in existence. Therefore, he is said to have committed criminal breach of trust. Can you see? That is how you should write it, right? The problem with, all right, is writing it. Writing have to be clear. Okay, you can't just say this meet the illustration in A, therefore he has committed criminal breach of trust. Can't. That is not good. But this time, everybody must do it right because this is the easier time for you to get an A. You have more time at home to practice how to, all right, okay, take the element from the section and paste it, applied it, we say in law, to the facts given.
Prof.
Yeah, Mustaqim.
Do we need to copy the exact element in the penal code and the answer sheet? Then we explain by one.
Oh,
then
yeah.
applies to the case.
Betul. Kadang-kadang you mention section 405, right? Okay,
Yes.
then you say in 405, the relationship must be, okay, sekejap. Apa entah phone ni? As if somebody is tracking me. All right, okay. Now, tadi I was saying, to answer your question, should you copy the section? No, you shouldn't copy the section, but you should copy the wording that is related to the element. In the CBT under section 405, there are two elements. First element is dominant or entrustment. So you say that the first element appears in the facts in that line. Appears to the fact. You can copy the line, or you can say in the facts that is given, he is being appointed as an executor. That executor made him falls within the meaning of the word entrustment, because there is a contract kan for executor. Macam tu ya. Alright, tak payah copy the whole section lepas tu kata oh in according 401 405 alright, all the element is there, so therefore there is CBT pun tak boleh. Alright, you have to take the portion of the element. That's why in this class I told you that the element are only dua saja. Tapi elemen number one ada dua benda. Elemen number two, dishonesty, ada banyak explanation. Macam tu. Boleh? Right?
Okay.
Boleh. Thank you. Alright, let's look into, alright, okay, B. A is a warehouse keeper. Z goes on a journey and trusts his furniture to A under a contract that it shall be written on the payment of fees. A dishonestly, alright, sell the goods. A has committed breach of trust. All right, over here, how you are going to say, according to section 405, element number one, there must be entrustment or dominant. So therefore, according to the facts, A is a warehouse keeper. Through the contract between A and Z, A is a person who is entrusted, as in the element number one of section 409. Boleh? Okay. Then second one, right? How does he commit the second element of dishonesty? All right. Okay. The second element in section 409, 405 is dishonesty must be described in certain manner. Okay. All right. Okay. You don't want to describe the whole manner, tak apa. All right. Here in the facts, the manner described is that, all right. Okay. He sells the good. the act of A selling the goods fall within the element dishonesty expressed in section 4 or 5 to refer to the word disposed of the property. Alright, so jadi bolehlah you padankan the element and the facts. Then you say because he disposed of the property, therefore the two element exist, he commits breach of trust. Ataupun A commit breach of trust. And the best is when A is being named, alright, name the person that has committed breach of trust. Boleh?
Sorry, Prof. You refer to which slide number? I lost.
5.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Boleh?
Okay.
Alright, kalau tidak, you ada akta with you. Alright. I'm referring to illustration B of your 405. Alright, tapi I'm also looking into the slide number 5. Okay, boleh? Right. Anybody in the picture, anybody in the group want to ask questions?
No.
Okay. Alright, ada sikit lagi, ada banyak lagi, ada sikit lagi. Alright, let's look into C. Alright, the point today we are indulging into this illustration is how you are going to write in exam later. Facts are given to you, how you are going to write, alright, to apply all the element into your facts. Let's look into C now. A resides in Singapore, agent for Z, who is in Penang. There is an expressed or implied contract between A and Z that all sum remitted by Z to A shall be invested according to Z's direction. Z remits 5,000 to A with direction to A, all right, to invest in the government security. A, dishonesty, all right, disobey the direction and employs the money for his own business. A commits CBT. All right, how do you explain? All right, you would say according to section 405, there are two elements. The first element is dominant or entrustment. Wow, today my cat is really miserable. Keeps screaming outside the door and I can't stand hearing my cat scream to come in. Okay, let's look into, all right, so the first one is to establish the relationship, right? What is the relationship? What is the entrustment or dominant relationship? Macam mana? Anyone wants to try on this illustration C? Tiba-tiba dah tersenyap pula. Anybody wants to try? Use section 409, element number 1, dominant or entrustment. How are you going to explain? Saya startkan ayat tu. I'll start it like this. According to section 405, there must be entrustment or dominant relationship between the party. Sambung? Anybody wants? Okay. Right? So you will say, in this situation between A and Z, who is in the dominant relationship?
Yep.
Z.
Z.
Okay. Who is the boss? Z, isn't it? All right.
Yes,
A
Z.
is supposed to drive. So you have to explain the relationship. Z, A is supposed to act, all right, from the instruction of Z. Therefore, A is entrusted with this duty or obligation from Z. All right, that's number 1. That is relationship exists. Let them exist. For element number 2, to commit CBT, there must be dishonesty. All right. Okay, what is dishonesty? Look into the instruction given. Anybody wants to follow? Anybody wants to try? Yeah. How do you talk about the dishonesty? Before you talk about betul. Right, somebody gained, somebody lost. Yes, true. All right, that is the description of dishonesty. Then you put in section 23 and 24. All right, then what do you do? The next one. The next one is you have to show the instruction given by Z to A. Z says he is going to send money and the money is going to be invested in the government security. That is the instruction. All right. Okay, but what happened? All right, A didn't do that. The act of A, right, disobeyed the instruction is dishonesty because A now gained 5,000 ringgit when he puts the money into his own business. That is 24. Therefore, Zach lost 5,000 ringgit. That is according to section 23. All right, therefore, all right, in this situation, because the element has been satisfied, element 1 that is dominant, element 2 that is breach of the instruction, element 2 is dishonesty through breach of the instruction, therefore CBT exists in the case between A and Z. Are you following me? How to write it? Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Macam tu. Okay. Right. Kalau dah pandai, we'll try C dah sudah, C, B dah sudah ke? Dah. C dah sudah. Now D. Alright. When we look into D, alright. I'm in slide number 7 now. Okay. Semua orang ada? Ada. Okay. Alright. Okay. Coming into D. But if A in the last illustration, which is C, not dishonestly, but in good faith, believe that it will be more for Z advantage to hold share in bank X, disobey Z's direction and buy shares in banks X instead of buying share with the security, government security, Z should suffer loss and should be entitled to bring a civil action against A on account of that loss, yet A, not having acted dishonestly, all right, has not committed criminal breach of trust. All right, they twisted sikit. You are taking an action, A is taking an action for the benefit of the one who entrusted him with the money. For the benefit of Zach, not for his benefit. Here he commits what? He commits criminal misappropriate. Kenapa dia criminal? Right, because he disobeyed the instruction given to him. Right, okay, and he makes a profit not for himself. Tu yang dekat CBT. That's why you have to look into CBT. That is CMA, criminal breach of trust. Over here dia kata apa? A, on that account not having acted dishonesty. All right, okay dia. All right, jadi kenapa? Because he doesn't gain. Section 23 and 24 were not proven. All right, he does not gain anything from the relationship. Therefore, he does not commit CBT. Okay, your explanation. Sebab tu in exam we are going to write something like this for you to not simply put a summary of the situation, but to go line by line and discuss it. Not simply just open discussion, but discussed according to the section that you have determined where the crime has been committed. Anybody wants to say anything? Tak ada. Okay, kalau tak, we look into E. A collector of government money or a clerk in a government office is entrusted with public money and is either directed by law or bound by contract or expressed or implied with the government to pay into a certain treasury all the public money which he holds. A dishonestly, all right, appropriates the money. A has committed criminal breach of trust. Anybody wants to try this? Iman? Iman Nabila, are you there? Yes, Iman. Efa? I can see people in screen 5, my screen 5. All right. Okay, anybody wants to try and look into how you are going to explain element E by using the section? I nampak Azwan talking. Azwan, want to try? Yes? Anyone? You have to have this exercise because in exam that is really very vital for you. Okay, siapa lagi? Dekat bawah sini, dekat bawah sini. Azwan, Siti Zaliza. Siti, mana Siti? Unmute Siti. Siti, tak dengar. Siti Zaliza.
Yes, Prof.
Would you like to try how to apply section 4 or 5 to this illustration?
According to section 4 or 5,
Yes.
A is entrusted by the public money.
Betul. Lagi? Bukan A is entrusted with the public money, bukan.
Bukan.
Being an entrusted person, macam mana he is a collector of government money, ya?
Jap.
The entrustment is because he is a collector of government money. Dekat bawah ni, he is a clerk in the government office. Tu dia punya entrustment. Okay, the job dia, he collects money. They entrusted with public money. The job dia is collector. Alright, the duty dia collecting money. Alright, boleh? Lepas tu, dishonesty, what is described here in E, yang mana satu action that is dishonest?
Appropriate the money.
Tak dengar.
A dishonestly appropriate the money.
Tu tak boleh. Cakap macam tu tak cukup. You are not wrong, only it's not enough. How must you explain that dia dishonestly appropriate the money? What is actually the action that dia buat? The actor serious dia apa? Dekat tengah
Where
tu
actually he should pay into certain treasury all the public money, but he dishonestly appropriate the money into his personal.
Macam tu. That is the second element that you must explain. That is only the explanation. Tu baru dia clarify the situation. But you haven't put the law. How you put the section 24 and 23 in?
By doing that, the A is wrongly gained from this by his action, and the government is wrongly lost due to that action.
Boleh cakap macam tu, ya. If there are the number of the money is stated, then you mention the number. Okay? Siapa jawab tadi tu? Saya cari-cari tak nampak.
Saya.
Ya, saya tu siapa?
Hamzah.
Oh, sorry Hamzah. I keep on clicking on the pages. I tak nampak the cursor goes to your name. Okay, Hamzah, thank you very much. That's how you should handle it. Always, all the time, putting the section in your answer. Okay, section 4 or 5 that determines it. Put the section, pecahkan, divided the element into 2, goes into it, rewrite it, but in your words. Okay, don't add more, but just stay within the element that is given. Because most of the time, when we are learning this, we are looking for the mens rea and actus reus, but I don't want you to go into that words, all right? Because that is a different situation altogether. That makes it more complicated. That makes it putting into the element that we do not want to discuss. We want to discuss 409. Every time we discuss 409, 23 and 24 must be in the picture. So have it in your mind, and Hamzah, you are doing it correct. Siti Zaliza, all right, thank you too. All right, okay now. Yes, saya.
This situation, can we relate with section 408?
Okay, brief me section 408. Apa dia
408 is stated that whoever being a clerk or servant or employed by servant and being in a manner and trust in a such capacity with property or with dominant over property commit criminal breach of trust.
Okay, boleh. To be specific, alright, 405 boleh, 408 lagi tepat. Tapi, alright, since we are looking into the original, the element of CBT dalam 405, jadi in your answer, you must also mention 405. In the conclusion, you must also mention 408 and 23 and 24. That is even better as well. Boleh? Yeah? Okay?
For session 405, I have four element, right, madam?
Betul. 408 is for the position that he is the clerk of the government.
And then can I put also the definition of clerk, the section 402A to more detail.
Boleh, lagi more detail, lagi bagus. Okay, tapi tak payahlah, you know, just say that the definition of clerk is found in 402 to be whatever. But yeah, boleh. If you want to be more detail, even better.
Oh, dalam final, kalau boleh letak banyak-banyak lah, madam.
Macam ni, dalam final bukan boleh letak banyak-banyak, only how you relate their answers to the section. Sometimes I've seen some students who put all the section, listed it out and try to explain it. Sometimes it's redundant. But in your situation, in your example, if 402 have the definition of a clerk, 408 have the direct reference to CBT of clerk, then it is appropriate for you to add 2 more section. Boleh, Azwan? Yeah? Okay, alright. Now, saya nak tengok apa tadi explanation, mana dah pergi 7 tadi ya. Alright, okay. Alright, now we're looking into 8. Okay, now we're looking into slide 9, F. A carrier, alright, is entrusted by Z with property to be carried by land or by water. Alright, A dishonestly misappropriate the property. A has committed criminal breach of trust. Sometimes, alright, see, dia punya illustration is really very short. Still, you have to identify what? You have to identify that A is a carrier, pembawa, you know, maybe a dispatch boy or whatever. All right, so you have to determine that his position as a carrier, he is entrusted with the property. All right, so once he is entrusted with the property, his duty is to carry it by land or by water. Here, it doesn't tell you what he did wrong. It only tells you that it dishonestly misappropriate the property. So you are going to rely on that word and not going to grow your imagination as to explain how, because the fact doesn't explain it. All right, jadi you will say A, according to the facts, A have already dishonestly committed misappropriation. Therefore, A is committing criminal breach of trust. Right? Boleh? Ya, saya. Ya, Ehsan.
Related to this example, can we sue Post Malaysia for CBT if we didn't get our parcel?
Wow, no. No.
Why?
Kenapa? All right, you didn't get your parcel, but does that mean, all right, somebody gained from it?
Maybe the postman?
The maybe itulah making the post office not guilty. Unless you are sure. Then the CBT, it's not on the post office. The CBT is on the postman. Boleh?
Faham.
Faham. Okay, macam tu. Yeah, CBT, it's always something that we feel that is correct. It's but then again, CBT, number 1 element, number 2 element, the position, the situation, the breaking of instruction, all right, has to be falling into order. But I'm glad that you asked that question. Boleh? Right?
Puan.
Yeah.
Puan, I have one question.
Nanti saya alih screen. Siapa cakap tu?
Hamzah.
Hamzah, you disappeared from my screen. Kenapa?
Because I don't have the webcam.
Oh, okay. All right, go on, Hamza. I'm sorry.
Okay. For example,
Yeah.
if we enter into a service agreement, for example, company A enter into service agreement with company B for collection of money. Okay, for collection money to run the hawker center. So the
What center?
company
What center? I
hawker
miss hawker.
hawker center.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Company B duties is to collect the money, the rental from the operator, and then subsequently deposited the money to company A. So because the rentals belong to company A.
Okay.
Okay. Then if one of the employee of company B siphon the money for his personal use, who should lodge the police report? Company A or company B for CBT?
What?
Whether company A is having any legal rights to lodge a police report for CBT?
Okay. The big question is who the money belongs to?
Company A.
That's right. So company A, although company A have taken company B as an agent, yeah, if I can put that word, all right. So since the owner of the money must be the one that have the rights to report.
Okay.
Okay. Now, when you do that, all right, all the facts that you tell me now, those are the facts that you need to write in the police report. All right. Over here, the next questions, if you don't ask, I asked it for you. Who commits CBT?
The servant, the employee of company A, company B.
Okay, right. The best is, all right, if we are to discuss that, it's not only the servant of company B, but also company B.
Okay, understood. Because I have a real case for that one.
Yeah, I understand. All right, in that situation, police report come from A, all right, okay, write all that you said just now, okay, and allow the police, all right, that to know that you have suspicion not only from the club, but also from the company B himself. Okay, why? Because you belum tahu lagi there is a hanky-panky that goes between the company B and that particular clerk. All right. In that situation, okay, like if we put that scenario that you have into this CBT today, all right, what must you say? Who is entrusted with your money from the company A? B. Remember, B, alright, then ingat the perkataan dekat ujung tu, number one, dia ada relationship, alright, okay, but then number two, dia ada dishonesty. Dishonesty is done through misappropriation, use it for your own good, using for somebody own good that you are the channel that extend it out, all right, you disposed of it, you convert it, all right, okay, so that unless the police or the company B can prove there is no any tied up mens rea or actus reus between the dishonesty of money, then company B is free, so the CBT falls into the clerk alone.
Okay. Thank you.
Macam tu. Alright. Okay, that is how kalau we are going to look into the relationship. Tapi kadang-kadang the CBT dekat B senang aja because the actual gain, it's not done by B directly but done by the clerk. Dah enough of the element of CBT. So it's up for B to defend himself that says he has nothing to do with the action of the clerk. The clerk is running independently. And then he clears himself from the CBT. That leaves only the clerk with the CBT. Right? But at the same time, all right, because that person is a clerk, all right, and nothing entrusted between A and the clerk, therefore, then the clerk is not CBT but commit theft.
Okay, okay.
Kat situ.
Because no legal binding between A and clerk. Yeah, yeah.
The clerk kan. Jadi
Yeah.
the clerk tu bukan CBT, the clerk tu is theft. Committing theft. B, unless he can clear himself, he could be. Alright. Okay. He could be CBT. Or he could be committing theft. Tapi whatever it is, to start everything, it's always with a police report. Yeah, Hamzah?
Okay, okay. Thank you, Doctor.
Alright, okay. Now let's look into, okay, kita dah tengok ni. Alright, okay. Now I have a screen, Tan Tai Chi versus PP. Dekat sini, you use this case just to explain the word entrustment. So now your answer will grow. Number one, you say section 9 gives you the element entrustment or dominant. In the case of Tan Ti Chi, it gives you the meaning of the word entrustment, where that case, the court says the accused must be in any manner entrusted with the property if the accused was entitled to keep the money or use it. So that is an establishment of entrustment. Boleh? Okay, jadi your answer now grew a little bit bigger on the meaning of the word entrustment. Okay, now if you follow the case, all right. Lepas tu nampak tu in your article 13 and in your slide 13, we talk about dishonest intent, wrongful loss, wrongful gain. All right, okay. Lepas tu we look into the case of slide 16, Ju Nuang and others versus PP 2000. All right. Over here, the explanation of the word, all right, goes further. Whereas every breach of trust gives rise to a civil suit, it is only when there is evidence of mental element of dishonesty, then there is a criminal breach of trust. Therefore, the determining factor here is that there must be dishonesty. So whatever action you do, if you are dishonest in the way it is explained in 405, misappropriate, convert, dispose, breaching the law, all right, your own use, somebody else use, all that, then there is this element of mens rea to the CBT. It's penting tu, all right. Okay. In the case of Tan Kim Hock versus public prosecutor, right, they talk about wrongful gain and wrongful loss. Maknanya, there must be an existence of section 23 and 24 in relation to section 405. Okay, right. Lepas tu, kita tengok case apa lagi. Banyak explanation dekat situ, saya dah pecahkan. Alright, okay. Lepas tu, you sometimes in the facts that is given to you, kita twist and turn it a bit, making it funny, making it a more discussion. So once you have discussed that, look into the nitty-gritty, the little things. In the case of public prosecutor versus Ang Gyok Kim, the court may take into consideration whether the accused action were done repeatedly. Berapa kali dia buat tu. Sometimes the first time it doesn't mean a thing, but if you repeat it all the time, it shows that you commit dishonesty. You try to commit that by repeating action. So repeating action becomes important. All right, okay. The statistic doesn't mean a thing today. Today, CBT and cheating and today in Malaysia, when it comes to CBT, cheating, forgery, people don't like, the AG doesn't want to sue under Penal Code because they have created a new law, that is the Corruption Act. So if you want to have a statistic on CBT and cheating and forgery, very rare it happens nowadays that someone is charged with CBT, right? Unless the officer in AG knows the importance of it, most of the cases now goes to corruption. Okay, right? So all the reason that was put in that discussion was actually now have changed the face with the establishment of the Corruption Act by SPRM. I'm looking into this just in case there are part of it that I think you could be confused. Entrapment, all right, you can strengthen your meaning of the word entrapment through the case of PP Abdul Wahab and Baharu Zaman versus PP. I'm looking at slide number 40. All right, okay, so how do you use these two cases? By showing to the examiners that you said there are cases that discussed entrustment. So in these two cases, entrustment was said to be when money is given to a person in his official capacity, he is entrusted with it, all right? Therefore, if he use it for his own, then he breached the element 1 probably. Right, so this case is talking about entrustment. Jadi when somebody is having in his capacity money saja, he is entrusted. Official capacity. So kadang-kadang clerk, remember the situation of this clerk daripada Plus, company Plus, apa tu PLUS, you know, the highway company, all right?
Yes.
That one I feel sad for that case, tapi the prosecutor under penal code. All right, small amount, and she is prosecuted under the penal code, right? Whereas a big amount is corruption, right? But that is correct, you know. Sometimes the big amount, a clerk will not be able to in the hands of a big amount because they handles only to the maximum of satu kad RM350, 350 amount only. But if she uses 2 card for her own benefit, she have committed CBT because her entrustment is that she falls in the capacity of official capacity to hold money for the other company. All right, so you see, sometimes it is better to charge her for theft instead for CBT. Can you do that? Right? But then the element of theft, you don't know the person that you take money from. That is theft. So in the situation of that clerk, all right, unfortunate that she falls in the CBT or cheating. Yeah? All right? Boleh?
Doctor?
Yeah.
In theft, there is also element for clerk, right?
Clerk?
Yeah, I think I can recall section possession. Yes.
Yeah. That section at the bottom, we are talking about 378, 379. Yeah.
Because when I read the explanation, it said that it is a temporary clerk. So that's mean the temporary employment, does it contribute much on the fact of the case?
No. You are already in a position, there is a contract, you are working, you are in the capacity. Whether you are only a day starting working, since you are already being given that post as a clerk, whether temporary or not, it doesn't change. Yeah, it doesn't change the position that you are a clerk. When a clerk commits crime, it is better to sue that clerk committing theft under the same roof, isn't it? That was the section at the bottom of section 378. Ada 379, ada banyak lagi section that is theft. Bukan. The word is theft in the house. Theft committed in the same house, meaning in the same building. All right. In the building, meaning the same institution. All right. Instead of charging you for theft in 378, you charge a theft according to in the same roof or something in the same house. All right, that is, the punishment were lesser. Tapi in that case of this lady who steal money in the plus from the plus facilities account that she works, all right, it so happened that she was charged with theft, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah? So if this kind of question appears in the final assessment, how do we need to prove that one, whether under theft or under CBT?
That is the most difficult part to do. Not only that you have to prove that it is theft, you have to prove that it is also Could it be cheating? Could it be CBT? Could it be CMA? Could it be fraud? Could it be under computer crime? Yes, that is the difficult part, but that's the part that you have to do. All right, that's the reason why, all right, you have to differentiate what is theft and what is CBT. CBT, it is theft, it's not wrong, all right, there is taking of dishonest money, right? Tapi it becomes CBT because of the element relationship. Jadi whenever there is theft, and the theft is committed by a person who has a dominant against another, or who is entrusted with the duty against another, then it is no more theft. Then it is CBT. Right. How do you differentiate between CBT and cheating? Right. Okay. In cheating, the item is, the main part of cheating is apa tu? Disguise, deceive. All right. Okay, you deceive. All right. For a person who commits CBT, all right, the one point is that he does deceive. Tapi if the deceive is done because he has this entrustment or dominant, then it is CBT. Then it is not cheating. Dalam cheating is all about disguise or deceived. Deceive with dishonest. Tapi the fact that dishonest, it's still following theft. Dishonest follow CBT, section 23-24. Dishonest also follow cheating. All right, cheating, it becomes mandatory that you acted, you deceived for this honest win or lose. Right, section. Yeah, okay. And all this, you also have to differentiate between CBT and CMA, criminal misappropriate. Criminal misappropriate, kalau you tengok the person have, if you see that the person have entrustment, all right, entrustment relationship in the beginning for the first 7 weeks, 7 months, entrusted with the job, she is doing it fine. Tapi one day she misappropriate, right? Use it for her own benefit. That misappropriation. But when she use it for her own benefit, she returned the goods back. All right, but she is a person with entrustment. So which one do you want to sue her? She's entitled to be, all right, sued for CBT because she got entrustment, misappropriate for her own good. All right, okay, then misappropriation, maybe she should be charged with CBT and CMA. Jadi, as a student facing the question in exam, all questions is all about somebody taking somebody else's property. All right, you need to know and be able to differentiate theft, all right, cheating, CBT, CMA, fraud, criminal breach of trust. Computer crime. Computer crime, nanti kita buat, tapi to be honest with you, it's much easier to identify because it uses computer. Right? Most of the crime selalu guna computer juga. Alright, all the time, computer is involved, but in a different category. So in your class, alright, you know only 2 saja area. One is penal code with 5 situation. The other one is computer crime with only a few situations. We haven't reached the computer crime yet. Alright, okay. Boleh? Can you?
Boleh.
Can.
Alhamdulillah. Alright. Okay, so therefore, if you look into this Eric Chia, mana Eric Chia? Okay, 43. Okay, but you can also Google Eric Chia under the name of the case, discussion of Pewajar case. It's interesting to read if you are already working in the in this accounting line. All right, you'll be able to read Eric Chia case versus PP 2006, and then the appeal court again after 5 years. All right, lepas tu, or you want to read this comment that Pewajar, just Google corruption Pewajar case. Then you will see there is the Dato' Abdul Razak, if I'm not mistaken. All right, he writes a long and explanation the case of Eric Chia. Why? All right, in his opinion, all right, the Eric Chia have committed actually more than simple corruption. He have committed actually all all the offense in the penal code of theft, cheating, misappropriation, and also CBT. But he was charged with only a corruption act. All right, okay, a corruption section. Okay, right. Okay, in the case of Fauzia, I'm looking into Metromax. Metromax case ni dia bukan satu, there are plenty related one to another. All right, in this situation of Fauzia case, all right, they were supposed to use the money to build up link, right? Lepas tu apa berlaku? The money was paid by the government to compensate for the situation. Payment was made only after some action were done, and then lepas tu government, because of changing of situation, government was supposed to pay compensation, but government refused to pay compensation. Right? When government refused to pay compensation, all right, she sued the government for not being able to pay her the amount. Right? She wanted to bring Cherry Blair, the wife of Tony Blair, Prime Minister of UK then, right, to Malaysia as her lawyer, but that was not allowed by the Legal Profession Act in the court decision. Right? Okay, this case, at the end of the day, you will look into whether there is, okay, someone, whether there is CBT or not in this situation. Okay, right? Have a look at the case. Again, you can see summary of the case by Googling, look into the Metromax Corporation Metromax case, Malaysia. Just write it down, then you'll be able to see the CBT has been carried out in this situation. Right? Okay. To the latest case, these are the red flag case. Satu Eric Chia, Metromax, and then all right, in the case of Datuk, bukan Datuk, this is a Ketua Pengarah, if I'm not mistaken, Datuk Abdul Ghani Muhammad Amin. All right, transfer of fund used for the apa benda tu, youth council, if I'm not mistaken. Sekejap Ada banyak, saya dah pendek-pendekkan dia, lepas tu nanti susah nak baca dia. Alright. Okay, whether there is actually misuse of the fund, the missing fund. So he returned the money later, but then in the end, does he commit CBT? Right? Over here, it says that he didn't commit CBT, but only misappropriation of the money. Right? Okay, lepas tu, you look into the case of abatement. If you participate in allowing CBT to happen, that is also considered as wrong in the case of PP versus Abdul Aziz Muhammad, right? Okay, abatement, yeah. Okay, abatement, you meaning that you are in associate with the crime that is committed. Okay, other than that, you look into the case of Falkra, PP versus Mustafa Juman, all right, because lack of evidence, then in this situation, is there CBT, all right, because there was a forgery over here. In the case that case, there is no CBT because lack of evidence, all right. Tapi in the case of Roslyn Abdul Malik, this is a very rich guy. The case, he is a senior in the bank, Hua Bank. He was charged with CBT, all right, transferring money belonging to one customer back to his account. He directed the club to do that, all right. Okay, in the case of Rosalind, all right, there was a lack of evidence, tapi because there was a direct transfer into his money and he is the operator in the bank at that time entrusted with the account, so there was CBT in the case of Rosalind. Okay, right. Okay, nanti at the end of the day, after you have discussed it all right, we'll want to look into the punishment. Punishment is found in section 406, jail sentence between 1 to 10 years. If you repeat you have done it before, then this is your second crime, or all right, you have two you have two count of CBT, then you will be given whipping. Right, very rare you whip people, but then it does happen. All right, okay, it's not the amount that get you to be whipped, it's how many times you have been wrong, you have been committed with the CBT. Right, okay. Dia kata apa? Imprisonment may extend to 7 years. Oh, okay. All right. Criminal breach of trust. Right. By a carrier, you have a different section 408. Ya, betul tadi. Section 408. Public servant 409 and sentence 406 to 409. All right. The sentence maximum is 10 years imprisonment. Sentencing dekat Malaysia pula, nanti when we learn the last part, we will learn that to sentence a person, we cannot sentence you to the maximum of whatever the number that is stated over there. Tak boleh. Alright. Kenapa tak boleh? Because that is the principle in the criminal justice. If the crime says maximum of 30 years, we can only give you to the maximum of 29 years. Right. And ada and boleh mitigate, you boleh merayu hanya untuk you can appeal only on the crimes. Instead of 29 years, you said okay, can reduced it here and there because my I'm the sole I have to do this, all the nitty-gritty reason that you are presenting to the court, maybe the court will take it into consideration. Instead of giving you the maximum of 29, they probably give you maximum of 20. All right, but rarely, if you are found guilty, that they will not punish you at all. Very rare you can ask for mitigation from being in prison to just paying fine. All right, okay. So that is the situation. All right, okay. Are you entitled for a shorter sentence? Once you have been sentenced for 29 years, you probably, all right, after 5 years, maybe after 10 years, appeal, all right, appeal to the court that now you are wanting to be considered for the punishment. All right, okay, maybe because you behave so good in jail, jadi instead of 20 years, yeah, it will be reduced to 16 years, which is next year you'll be able to release restitution. Right, that what it says. That is allowed also in the concept of criminal justice. Okay, right. Jadi the girl who been jailed for the stealing of that, maybe after 1 year, maybe after 3 years. Selalu the investigation take you 1 year, you are already in jail. All right, and then the punishment take you 2 years. And then the punishment is also just 5 years. Maybe you only appeal for that you stay in jail for only 6 months. All right, 6 months more. Besides the fact, the first one is you are not being sentenced. Tapi you are there because of the prosecution. So they count on the day that you were arrested, put in jail. They go back. That's why sometimes in the prosecution, sometimes can take a long time ago. In some of my cases, it takes about 15 years to have it done. So by the time, all right, it's unfair. You are only jail 1 more year, 1 more day, and then there you go. Because all the time, it takes too long. That's why today we have with more lawyers, all right, with more lawyers conversant with all the legislation, sometimes the prosecution period will only lasted 1 year, and then the rest of the year is the year that you spend in jail for your sentence. In mitigation principles in criminal mitigation principles in criminal justice is allowed not only in Malaysia but all over the world. Yeah, all right, that you can appeal from time to time. So therefore, when people are thrown to jail, that is not the end. All right, who's going to work for your benefit that somebody you wanted an appeal and all that? You can call for a lawyer, selalunya the public process, or you call a lawyer to help you, or your family will go and look into the matter and ask for appeal, because maybe he is too old. When he goes to jail, he is of 90 years old. So if he is put to 15 years old, he will end up to be in jail up under the age of 101. And therefore, instead of appeal for it, mitigate for it, because of his old age. Selalunya kita mitigate for because you are of a young age. All right, a boy committing a first crime at the age of 18, sentenced to jail for 20 years. That will be a loss of human capacity, isn't it? So if he has he has showed a repentance, right, or behaved good in jail, maybe someone will appeal for him, or he appeal for it himself. All right, there is always a mean. People will advise him to do so, or if he needed to do so. Boleh? Okay, now we come to this end of the CBT. All right, okay. Okay, now let me just look into my phone 1 minute. Okay, just to review the situation that Afifi take concern, take the liberty to join, to show to us some cases. Okay, this is it. All right. Okay, apa case dia yang tu? All right. Do you have any questions? Tak ada. All right, rubber tapper. I'm looking into my phone now. Okay, I'm reading on this case. Apa ni? Sekejap ya. Rubber tapper losses 141 to scam. Scam is cheating. You are correct. Yeah? Scam is cheating. Therefore, sometimes to catch these scammers, it's not really very easy. All right, we need a lot of participation from the public. So every time when a scammer call you, if it is through the call, through the phone, sometimes the scammer come to your door dressed really very handsome, baju putih, tie, and all that, look like a missionary people, right? Look like a school people, right? They rang up your house and tells you that you need to go to court or pay some money, and they be able to pay it for you, or you pay into certain account. That is scammers. All right, or sometimes they call you, and almost everyone got it. All right, I got it a long time ago. Somebody called me and tell me that I have not paid income tax, therefore I'm going to be arrested, right, by the police within 2 hours. If not, all right, I'm going pay money into the account. Pay now. Pay. I owe 56,000 income tax, so I need to pay now, or any amount that I can. All right. Okay. Now, income tax doesn't have the enforcement power to bring you to court that way. No. All right. Okay. There is no warrant of arrest that can be issued by income tax. Okay. Not in that way. Not by sending people all through the phone. Sometimes they become a scammer and says that they are the my sister-in-law got this one. They are from the court. They show you, they send to your phone some letters from the court saying that your house is going to be evicted if you don't pay for certain things. And that certain things is definitely not you, because you are only a housewife. You don't do anything. You don't even buy the house through a loan. All right. Okay. You buy them. You don't buy them, you build them because the land is yours. All right. Sometimes we get scared receiving information from the scammers. So listen carefully to them if you want to listen. But then nowadays you already identify, isn't it? Call from the court, call from income tax, call from somebody who says you owe traffic offense. Those are lousy call. Those are scammers. Avoid them. Okay. Give me a minute to read while I'll ask you this question. Do you have any questions? Okay, all right, all right. There's a lot. Scammers, if they get caught, it is better to sue them for cheating under, cheating or theft under penal code. There will be more severe punishment. All right. Anyone wants to share anything with me? I'm reading Iman Nabila. Oh, okay. Tadi you answer to that. All right. Thank you, Iman. Okay. Anyone? Penat dah?
Yes, take 5.
Yeah. I understand. Penat dah. Yeah, I know. Okay. Kalau tak ada, kita supposed to finish the class at 12:30, betul? Alright.
Betul.
Diana. Yeah, Alhamdulillah. I'm not going to end the class early. Tapi, alright, take your time. Look into the materials that is in front of you given. Nowadays, today we concentrate on CBT. Next week we are looking into the CME. Alright.